us and the collaboration we're going to have going forward.
No better way to communicate to your audience.
How do we grow strategically now that we've gotten the right path forward? Hey, everybody. Hope you guys are having an awesome day so far. Todd Schroth here with The Show by Todd Schroth. And I got my man John Clark here with eXp Realty up in Dayton. And I wanted to just bring you on here today. And guys, if you haven't followed us, please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't know. There's a few other spots where we've got the show running.
LinkedIn.
And what's at LinkedIn? I mean, we're everywhere. Trying to post it and podcast now. So we've got all of our episodes converted to podcasts as well. So check us out there. So John, I appreciate you being here today. Just wanted to dive in with you and learn more about what you're doing as an agent. You crush it with social. You always have the memes that are coming out there. I think half of my content that I share has your logo embedded behind it because I keep swiping everything. It's awesome.
You mean the funny stuff?
Yes, all of it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
stuff.
when you steal the funny with the logo behind it, it's the funny stuff.
Yes.
Because I try to make the EXP stuff. I do my own logo for your agent, John Clark, and then I got Jay Knox is my funny guy thing. But then when it comes to making my, anything that's informational and or hopefully spark some interest in real estate for somebody, I slap the EXP one behind it, and that's the ones I share with our team and with everybody in the brokerage. Just because when I first started with this, first of all, let me start by saying thank you for having me on here. Sorry to stop in the middle, but big fan, man. Have been for a minute. When did you start with EXP?
We're about 3.5 years ago.
That exactly. So I thought we were right about. I'll be 4 years on August 8 of 18.
Okay, awesome.
Coming up here in August 22nd. I'll be 4 years. So I thought we were about the same time, right around when we were 8,000 agents, I think. Versus
I was starting to investigate then. That's the brand.
That's about where we're. So that's that's kind of where I started. What started this was the group that we're in, the Honey Badger group, and
stand up and let's check out that shirt.
Gotta show you that one, right?
The Honey Badger.
Honey Badger. So my wife even has one that says "I love a Honey Badger." We got them at the same time, dude. I can actually get her to wear it once every blue moon.
That's awesome.
It makes it hot for me, so that's hard for me to do. Believe me. When I first started, was in a Honey Badger group. One thing I noticed was, so I started doing the social thing about 4 years before that when I was still working with Shred It in the corporate world. And my first big following was actually LinkedIn. And that's where my reason why I pretty much have the #1 following in Ohio right now is because my LinkedIn profile is so strong. And that was because I was tired of making phone calls. I was making 120 phone calls a day and talking about document destruction. And nobody wants to talk to you about that garbage. So it's like, they tell you to whatever, every no gets you closer to a close, blah, blah, blah. But that's true when you're selling objects or services like that. But now I'm selling stuff that's fun. So now it's a little more interesting. But what I started doing back then was I figured if you got one good image and a really good message is what I was seeing on LinkedIn, you could get in front of a lot more people quicker than I could with a phone call, right? And follow it up. So I figured I'd do both. And one day, hopefully, this will be doing enough where I will have to do less of this. And so it finally got to that point. And I've been making sales memes for 9 years. Since memes were a thing, I've been making them. I was actually grandfathered in and got the pro version of this particular app I use all the time because I've been with them since Moby Dick was a minnow. So it was it's easy. It's sales, real estate's the same thing. So now I just switched over and started doing that. Now it turns out I'm one of the probably top 3 content providers for real estate memes, which is kind of funny, which just gets me conversations going. It's not like,
that's the whole point behind them. I mean, there's no pun intended. It's just the stuff is shareable because it's funny, whether you like Biden or Trump or whatever. If you have a meme about it, it's not meant to sway you to a brand or anything else. It's just a point of laughter.
The way I look at it is we get kicked in the teeth every freaking day, right? Like we get our ass kicked, whether it's through your commission checks being split up, or whether it's a buyer that sucks or a seller that thinks their house is worth $1 million more than it is, whatever it is, or suspect agents, right? Like toxic agents. We get shit all day long. And then on top of that, we got to eat shit with our family because we got to answer the phone during dinner, or we're on vacation and shit like that when we only want to be with you. You guys got to know that. But this is what happens. We got to answer. So we're catching shit all the time. So
Yeah.
when I do these memes, they're not, I make fun of myself more than I make fun of anybody else, but I make fun of real estate agents, loan officers, appraisers, anybody, inspectors, transaction coordinators. I am an equal opportunity humor guy. I will make fun of anybody. I don't care, but it's just to laugh. It's to get, but you'll always get people on there that like to do the, you know, like to give you the lesson afterward. Well, I would never do that, or dual agency sucks, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you guys are just, you're not thinking about it the right way. I'm only doing this to vent. And so, but to go back a little bit, when we started in that Honey Badger group, I noticed something early on, and social media was something I was already in love with as it relates to making people giggle. And so I'm a military brat. So I moved every 3 years my whole life. And I've always had really good friends that I wanted to stay in touch with forever. And I write letters when we first moved, and that shit fades after a few years. And it just doesn't work out, unfortunately. You got to both be hell-bent on being like, got to stay in touch.
Connected.
Life happens and shit happens. So when Facebook came out, dude, I literally found every single person I've ever loved or ever wanted to reconnect with. I'm the one that throws the reunions for my high school in Enterprise, Alabama, which is 30 minutes from Florida and 30 minutes from Georgia. You know, I used to work dishes before, whatever. Back in the day, I worked at dishes at Hooters at Panama City Beach. So like, but there's, you know, there's I figured back then when I saw this Honey Badger group that people would ask for listing agents or buyer's agents in Dayton, Ohio. And no joke, and I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm in this new house because of this agent, by the way. He's the listing agent for this one because he heard me when I asked for help, when I said I needed a home over in this specific area, whatever. Andrew Gadosh, one of my favorites in the whole world, man. He's a mentor. He's a phenomenal human being. His family looks like the family that's on the freaking frame when you buy this shit. I mean, like, he's just awesome, right? He's been doing this stuff forever. So when people said, who's the agent? I saw Andrew Gadosh 30 deep, and not another person mentioned, not my team leaving, and we're the #1 EXP mega team in Ohio. And Mike Wall, nobody on my team was mentioned. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I started with I already know that when you give away stuff, you get back either treasures in heaven or somebody sees it, whether it's the people you're helping right now or somebody over there. Somebody's watching you do this shit that you do when you give away stuff and you help people just to help, not for anything else. And so I started doing that. And because I'm a content dude, I make all my own shit because I'm cheap and because I don't want to pay some asshole you can't get in my head and think the way I want to think or come to my clients. I'm sorry, you can't. So I make my own stuff. And it just turns out that after a lot of practice, I'm getting pretty damn good at this. So then I started making it for me and other people. And then I started giving it away because I didn't have this kind of cool shit for the first couple of years that I was in real estate. I had to learn to make it, and I was posting suspect shit, and then it got better and better and better. But you know, but it wasn't dead heat like, you know, out of the gate. And that's what I think agents need right now. And so I started just giving into the Honey Badger group. Said, hey, here's 20 pieces of content that you can use and schedule out and use for marketing. And they're cool, they're nice, they're beautiful, they're like shit that you pay for. And stuff that I make in 5 minutes. I sit there with my wife and kid go somewhere. She drops his ass off at basketball and I got 10 minutes. I'll make 10 pieces of content. It looks like somebody that takes probably the whole day. Somebody wastes marketing 8 hours to do that shit. It takes me 10 minutes to make them pretty like that. And sometimes I'll go in and look at other people's ideas and steal their ideas, but it's not the same shit. I make my own stuff. And then I share it with everybody and say, listen, I don't need you to thank me. I don't need you to tag me. I don't need you to tag me when you post it. Please don't. I want you to act like this is yours.
Right.
That's it. And the only thing that I need as a thank you is if the real estate question ever comes up about Ohio, someone's buying or selling and they're in, and I'm not talking about Dayton, Ohio. I've got the biggest following in this entire friggin' state by a landslide. I have agents in every single market in this place. I get tagged, and this is not to sound arrogant, which it'll probably come across cocky just because that's how I am. I'm confident in shit because I've done the research. I know the numbers. Like Property Spark puts out the top 100 real estate agents on social media every year, and I just take the top 15 and do the research on all of them and put a spreadsheet next to them, and I add them all together, and I beat their ass with just my LinkedIn profile. And I own Facebook in real estate for real estate agents in Ohio. I got 4 different pages for real estate. So there's just there's no one close for a long time. And so I do this and say, listen, if that conversation comes up and it's in Ohio, let me know. And so I'll get tagged 30 times in Cleveland over the top 1%er in Cleveland. Now I'm not driving 3.5 hours to Cleveland.
Right.
I got a badass named Gypsy Smolsky up there who takes care of the entire northern half, and she's a badass and closes deals left and right. And she kicks me down a little connection fee for making each one of those happen. She still has to pay the referral for that agent. And I've got a guy in Columbus doing it, a guy in Cincinnati doing it, a guy in Dallas doing it, a guy in Jersey doing it. And I'm growing this every day. This is just me having fun. Like when I see something in Orlando, I'm like, Todd's the man. I don't just tag you. They're not paying me to tag them. I tag them, and I put a badass image with their phone and their information on it with that tag. And then I also go to message that agent and say, guess what? Badass. You need to go with this person, whatever. And because I've been here like you for 4 years, and we've not been around that long.
Yeah.
People seem to think like I'm some big dude. And so when they hear my name and I say, this guy's great, it's like, shit, I'm going with him.
Right.
Like, or her or whatever. And that's nice. I do good business. So it's going to always be, I won't.
It follows itself.
Yeah. I won't send an agent unless they're going to exceed your client's expectations. Cause it's my name on the line. Like I won't say Gypsy's the best ever if Gypsy sucks. I won't send you a guy named Seth in Columbus if Seth sucks. And the second they do, they're out like a fat kid in dodgeball, and I'll find somebody else to replace them. Right. It's just loyalty's everything, though. These people they're not like, I don't have to worry about it. They're like kind of people, when you give me a referral, I already know you're gonna come back to me later and be like, dude, I love you. Thank you for that. Well,
you've built that brand, and that's what people remember. So when they think Ohio, now if I think Ohio, I'm gonna think John Clark instead of just like, okay, Centerville or Dayton or something. And because I've got another buddy up that end of town, and whenever I would think Ohio before you and I met, I'd always think I'm gonna pop his name in there, and he's like, dude, that's like 4 hours for me. I can't help you. I'm like, okay, I'm just, if you can maybe pair the referral up with somebody up there, if you know them, great. But I'm just thinking Ohio.
You're talking about my buddy here in Dayton, right?
Yeah, he's a Remax guy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
just messing with you.
And I got tagged on that one. He messaged me like, yeah, because I got two guys up there. So it all depends on how it comes across to me, because sometimes if his name won't even get tagged, and then yours does, so then it shows up in my feed. So I'm like, hey, yep, tag John. And then
that's how I do it usually too, depending on who it is.
And that's the only reason I saw it, because it's coming out of lab code or something else.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only reason sometimes when we see those. But now I'll know if anything in Ohio, I'm going to tag John, because John has connections in those other areas. That's how people look for us in Florida. Like, well, can't you sell the whole state? Like, no, I'm not going to drive 8 hours to Key West to go. I mean, I might go show a house. Depends on the price. I'd love to go down to Key West.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're not going to sell real estate in Key West. We're not going to sell real estate in the Panhandle. There are people there we know who handle those areas.
Dude, I would love to sell where you're at, but there's no way in hell I'm going to do it when I know you're the rock star down there.
Correct.
Versus me, I'm pretty damn good where I'm at, but I am not John Clark down there. You are so I would never, even as much as I would love to even sell in Key West, even if I live in Florida, I still wouldn't do it, even though I'd go down for the free trip just to be like, nice house, great. But this is the agents you're going to use.
They're the ones who know that area.
They've got the market. They've got the connections. Hell, they might have someone waiting on that damn house already. So there's no reason for you to spend any more time spinning your wheels that way. But it makes you look really good when you give good people out. And I'm not about the money. I'm about the final product. Like, matter of fact, you got a guy down your way, Sean Romano.
Yes.
Right. The YouTube dude. He's all over the place doing funny videos and shit. And he's cool. He's cool as a fan. He's good. He's a good guy. Sent me, I was tagged a bunch of times on an opportunity he had up here in Dayton. And this will tell you exactly who I am as an agent. Especially since I told you the story earlier about wanting to kind of basically beat Andrew Gatosh. Be the number one to get tagged on that, right? So what happened was he hit me up, and when he told me where the house was, it was right around the Lockrigan community, which is the lake community where Andrew Gatosh has a home. And one time I showed a couple of doctors some homes in there 3.5 years ago, right when I started real estate. And I've never in my life seen so many signs from one man's face. And if it was a lot for sale, it had a sign. If it was a house for sale, it had a sign. And he had an office right outside the sucker, right? And so I literally, after I was done with them, I said, hey, have a great day. I'll talk to you when we look at the next house or whatever. I went straight over there to go meet this badass man. I assumed was this guy because he had signs there. Because I'm a sales guy. I'm a sales nut, man. I love people to do this. I don't get jealous of people that make more than me, do better than me. I'm just like in awe. I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing? Like,
how'd you do that?
I wanted to go be like, dude, I've never seen anything like that. That's gangster. High five. And then that'll be my introduction to a cool guy in the neighborhood too, right? So that was my gig, but he wasn't there. I met his dad and like somebody else, and they were cool. But it was just really, really neat. But Sean gave me this lead, and I was like, you know what, dude? I was like, I will tell you every single day and twice on Sunday that I'll beat out any listing agent in the state of Ohio because of my fault. Because literally we're the same, right? The guy 30 years and the guy 3 weeks, you're the same when it's on the MLS. After that, it's your following to get you in front of people. So
correct.
Literally, I get in front of more people than anybody in the state. So when I say that, I'm like, yeah, and I brag and I'm ready to roll. And this one was like, he's like, dude, it's right. He told me where it was. I'm like, shit. I'm like, dude, Andrew Gadosh is going to be a way better pick for you. Let me send you his number. And then they worked it out and did a deal. And Sean was like, I can't even believe you did that. I'm like, I don't give a shit about the money between you and I care about your client going absolutely nuts for what transpired. And you're going to remember that. And I will be the only person you ever call ever again up here. I can guarantee it. And so he was like, you're right. And he tags me on everything all over the place now.
Well, that's because you provided a service, not thinking about the cash flow in the background.
That's it.
And it's the Gary V book of, jab, jab, jab. And then you came in with the right hook, got your kill at that point. You've given enough value out that you were able to come in and get something back.
Did you just quote Gary V?
Yes.
You just gave me goosebumps. He's actually my favorite person in the entire world. That's funny enough. We've been doing the same exact thing since forever. I buy and sell shit. I've been doing that for years before I knew Gary. I've been following him for about 4.5, 5 years now. Before that was Grant Cardone. That's what flipped me and made me this nutty sales guy when I was in the corporate world. That's why if you notice it says 10x EXP.
Yep.
That's also something you'll notice. I was 2 years before Grant Cardone decided to come join us. I already had this made, so I already got the logos on my license plate. So just in case he wants to talk about royalties or some shit later. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
Well, it's funny. Just as a side note, you should because Gary is on all the reels now, going to garage sales or whatever it is and buying stuff, and he got pulled over by a cop and in one of his reels. And the guy, they were pulled over because they thought they were trolling the neighborhood. And the cop pulls him over and he's like, shit, Gary, man, I love your shit. I'm watching your stuff all the time. So he goes, have a good one, man. Enjoy.
Yep. He does coffee cups and shit like that or action figures. I do BMX bikes, old school BMX bikes, and I snatch those up and I get them online. I did 250. When I first started in this job, actually, I left making six figures when I was at, I was number one in the world for Shredded for 2 years in a row. And they asked me to basically do a job where I was going to have to cut the legs out from under 140 people I've been mentoring for 2 years, which I just can't pull that shit off. Yeah. After I've been building you up, I can't do that. So I told them to go fuck yourself and I quit. And so I left to start doing this, but I went straight from, a lot of money to jack shit. So I jumped into Uber, started learning this stuff. And then I was also flipping BMX bikes on the side and making crazy money. We did 250 of them in the first year and a half or 2 years I was doing this. And then also I make one every year for the Back to Blue event where we celebrate all of the cops in the state when they come down for a big ass event. And we spoil the shit out of them for all the cool stuff that they do. I build a bike specifically for cops and then they auction it off. So
I think it's cool what you're doing because you had a story where you got a bike for a guy who needed something to get back and forth to work who was walking.
I was going to get a bike, actually, a little BMX bike, and I was going across the bridge, and it was like it was snowing, and this guy was so wrapped up like a freaking Eskimo. I didn't know if it was a guy or a girl. And I got the bike real quick. It was right down after the bridge. I got the bike, and on the way back, I still saw a dude going over. I'm like, yo. Stopped on the bridge, like, get your ass in the car. And he turns around, and this is black dude, and he's from Texas too. He comes in, I'm like, this really got to suck for you.
Why do you want to be homeless in Ohio in the snow?
Super cool cat, man. But he's like, I'm on my way to Kroger, and that's 2.5 miles away. That's like on my way back home. I was like 2.5 miles. I was like, bro, come on. I was like, man, listen, man, it's cold as hell. I was like, I flip old school bikes, and every once in a while, I'm able to throw one to somebody to help them, help them out. Would it help you to have a pretty badass 24-inch Haro BMX bike to help you get back and forth? I mean, shit, it's still going to be freezing, bro. But instead of an hour and a half, it'll take you 30 minutes. You can keep your fingers maybe or something. And he's like, That'd be awesome. Well, then I lost his number and it sucked because I was all fired up. So I called Kroger and I called around because he said he was in some like baker department or one department. So I went and called every department and some manager told me to stop calling finally. And some girl remembered what I said, found the guy, knew who I was kind of talking about based on the description, and said he was from Texas and all that. And she got him. He called me back, and I brought my little man out with me to show that I was trying to keep this guy a bike. And his kids actually came to the door when I did it, which was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
But it's a good feeling, man. But it was more of a calling thing. It was like, dude, I try to sell stuff and make money, Todd. I'm not an idiot. I'm trying to make cash, not just give stuff away. But when every once in a while, dude, I just can't help it. My wife, she knows, like, we'll sit there at a restaurant and the person's talking about something and it seems like they're having a garbage day. And I'm like, baby, she goes, I already know what you're going to ask. And she knows some stupid, absurd tip that's going to make them, make their day or something to help them out. And she's like, I already know. Go ahead.
Well, but it's John, it's things like that put you forward and make people think about you and expect, and yeah, you put it on Facebook, you got some information from them, but you're also giving back a good feeling to the world about like some positivity that's out there. On top of all the things that are out there. So I got to ask one question. Every morning you send out a happy birthday video to people and you're literally on crack speed talking, doing it. And you're like, blah, 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 blah. How do you get the information? It's like, do you just like spend the morning pulling some details and just like all over people?
Thank you for asking. No one's ever asked that part of it before. So this is the part about being intentional about
it's like random info, but it's like,
oh wow, cool. It is. It's I'm an 80s kid, right? Like I'm hardcore. I'm born in 73. I'll be 50 here in January. So I literally grew up in the 80s. Best time of my entire life with BMX and movies and honestly best time just ever. And so I kind of like all that shit, right? So the people that I usually pick every morning when I get up, the first thing I do every morning is an early risers post. Every morning I get up and say, good morning, early risers. And I put out a positive post. And I've been doing that probably for 3 years. And that's all over every platform, on every social media platform. Then I sit down. If I don't work out first, I'll usually do the video. And I sit down and I do the research. And I pull up celebrity birthdays for the day. And so it goes through, and I also have another website I pull up at the same time. It's like national days for the day, right? And they're always funky, weird ones or some off the wall shit, I don't know, sister brother day, some shit, some weird stuff. But I pick people, there's a million people to pick from, usually celebrities, but I try to pick the ones that I remember, like, you got somebody that, the guy that played Willis and the guy that, I'm an 80s sitcom dude, so Ricky Schroeder pops up or something. I don't know. All those, I pick those kind of people, or bands, cool ass bands from back in the day and song like, or even 70s bands or just rock stars or rappers. I'm a big rap fan. My thing is my first music I ever really got down to was hip hop. I was Sugar Hill guy. I was sponsored by Band Shoes back in the day, doing breakdancing in California where the Rockin' Wizards had a little Playboy on there and everything, battle dumb shit. So I'm a music fiend, but I'm a hip hop person. So I pick them rappers all the time. What I do is I do the research, give you a couple of quick hits. If it's an actor, I'll give you a few movies that they're in real quick. And I always throw in one of the celebrities is typically somebody that I feel is hot. Or was hot back in the day. So I always put in a meow after that, right? Like, see, I'll be like, oh, Jesus, who's somebody good? Like, not Heather Locklear now, but if you think about her back in the day, it'd be something like, and Heather Locklear, like it's right. But what I do is I do all these, and I do 4 celebrities, and then I do about 4 celebrities where I'm saying it's also Nick John's birthday. I don't give you any hints about it. I just give you a couple names. And then I say, it's also National Bank Day, National Day, and National Day. Have a great day. Be safe. I do that shit. So, but Todd, I am not as good as that video comes off. Like, that's ass and shit. I do that. And now I live in a new home, and my wife is actually going to probably yell at me. She's a civilian on base and works from home now too, though. She's on the other side of this wall, and I'm a loud SOB. And so that's why I can no longer do my birthday video in my office. It's got to be moved to another place until I finish my basement, because I will literally I can't do it when I wake up because I'll wake up the whole damn house because I'm
Yeah.
on the floor as the bedroom. So it's horrible. So, but I do it anywhere from 15, if I get lucky, to 150 takes before I nail that bastard to where I'll go ahead and put the border on it, put the name. And
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's anywhere from a 20-minute process after the research to an hour sometimes. And if it's that long, bro, I am verbally assassinating myself, calling myself the worst names in the world. I mean, luckily, I was 3 floors away from my wife in the condo. We were good.
Right.
Scream and yell, except I went through the vents. I finally figured out I got to cover those. But, yeah, it's nuts. But what it is, Todd, I started doing that to be intentional about my social media. Every morning, I post it directly on your profile. And I look at Todd. I'm like, okay, Todd, who's Todd? Like, if I don't already know you, which I do, say it's some other guy. I look and I know one of a few things. They're either going to be somebody that supports my social media that's either liking, caring, loving shit, comments every once in a while. They don't have to get super active and ask me questions. Not everybody's like that, but at least not just trolling and looking at shit and or being
the recognizable names that
they got to be recognizable. Yeah. Or they're a potential recruit. Somebody I really like, they do business and I really like, or another agent in town that I just freaking love because they do good business and they're badasses. And I just like the way their vibe is, like they like mine and we just get along and we've done business together. I'm going to keep supporting them. I always, every time I go by a listing and there's it would be your face, I'll be like, take a picture.
I love those posts.
And I post and I brag about them because I'm not scared of anybody around here. Nobody is.
Yeah.
I don't have competition because nobody can do what the hell I do around here and I can't do what they do, period.
Yep.
So there's enough room at the top. I'm hoping to see everybody there. I'll help you. I'm bold. If you're bold enough to ever call my ass and ask me for help or ask me what I do, I'm just going to tell you. I tell you what I do because I'm not, I don't know. It's just, I feel like, people try to hold back like we got some kind of secret sauce here to sell in real estate, which is horseshit.
Well, no, I mean, and this is why we're on the show today is like how to be intentional as a social media in real estate. And it's because you're going up and it's Andrew Gadash's Remax sign and taking a picture. I love this guy or whatever. I ran into this guy, dropped my kids off at school, or I did this, or the videos you send me on our birthdays. And it's that stuff that's easy. People can do. And
well, the video portion sucks, but you don't have to do if you go to YouTube, Your Agent John Clark, and look back at April 1st that's when I started doing it in September of the year before 19. So if you go to April 1st of 20, and then look at April 1st of 21, April 1st of 22. And look how my video, this is the thing that if you look at that, you will see you just need to start.
Yep.
Stop bullshitting and acting like I can't do it. I'm waiting for people to like me. I'm waiting for my teeth to get done, which I finally did, which my teeth were literally just done. All of the tops because I had a really bad acid reflux problem a while back, unfortunately, but it never stopped me from doing videos. I still did. I just didn't smile in closing pictures very much. I was just like, but whatever. But that's the one thing that could have stopped my ass from doing an excuse that could have made me not get on video. And that would have been a big mistake for me starting in this industry because this is the one thing that's helped me. I'm a goofy looking bastard, skinny as hell. I am not somebody that when you walk in the bar, the girl's like, oh my God, I got to have them. That's not it. I'm just a funny, nice, genuinely decent guy with a horrible mouth. Like Gary Vee and he should be my brother. I have got a horrible mouth because I will tell you in 2 seconds to go F yourself if you think you're going to tell a professional how this should go. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a weirdo. And people my wife gets mad because she looks at me, oh my God, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I know when to say something, when not to sometimes, but this is who I am. And it's an emphasis on language. It's just like what Gary said in one of the videos, right? It's like, they say, why do you cuss so much? It's like, well, because I feel like when that's awesome, no, that's effing awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I feel. That's how I say it too. It's weird. But then on the other side, I'm the kind of guy that opens the doors for people and stuff and looks it's confusing to some people, but but I look through that social media every day and I look and see who you are or if you're cool, but if you're an agent that's way up in Cleveland and there's no chance of us ever doing anything or vibing together, anything like that, I just get rid of them. I get rid of them. And it's not to be rude. I just need to put somebody there that's going to be maybe we're going to work something out at some point. So I'm hoping within the next year or two, my 5,000 people are actually people that I'm like, what's up? We all know each other.
You're being intentional with those 5,000, but I mean, you're celebrating everybody, and the person at the other brokerage or the person at the deal is not the enemy. They're your friend, and you do that, it's going to build a bigger respect for you in the community, in your realtor community.
Absolutely.
And so I love what you're doing, and that's why we're kind of here today. Is like, to seasoned agents to new agents. You see something out there, tag the agent you're doing a deal with. Talk about how good it is. If it's bad, I mean, I don't know if I want to go that way, but talk about like just anything that's going on with the business, and that's what you do.
Everything, man. So my favorite part of the entire transaction, Todd, full disclosure, is closing day, when I get to take a picture with the other realtor. And sometimes I'll do it even if they suck, because I'll just make it, seem like, hey, we got to the closing table. I'll do the positive fight. We made it. I won't tell you all the bullshit that happened up until then. The reason why I want to choke this bastard the second we're off film. But right now, I take a picture with them, brag about them. I brag about the title company because I know they do phenomenal. Typically, if it's mine, for sure. The closer's on my damn team. He just hasn't got active yet. So there's that guy I brag about. The mortgage guy, right? The loan officer, I brag about him. Sometimes the inspector afterwards. Like, I take pictures with each person and my clients, of course. That gives you like 6 different posts to do on top of that.
Right.
That you can space out and brag about people. And those people remember you. The client, the other agents, don't think if there's a multiple offer situation. I know it's slowing down a bit, but it still happens. Then if they saw 5 people and they saw me on top, they already know I do good business. They know I like to get to the closing table. They know I like to work with other people. My offer could be off a hair to somebody else's, and it may be like, we're going to have 0 problems with this guy, and this one over here is a train wreck. Let's go with him.
Well, that's the relationships, and that's where we've always talked about prior to 2020, when it was like we're in multiple situations. Let me tell you about these 8 things, and I'm not dogging any agents, but I tell you, I've closed 3 deals with John recently. Man, they've been all smooth. This one, with this lender, it didn't close on time, and there was no communication. This agent, obviously fought us the entire transaction. Do you want a pleasant home selling experience, or do you want to make $2,000 less and have the best experience ever? Let's talk about the $2 or $3, $4 make less.
And will you really make less? Will it make less? Because when you deal with somebody suspect like that, hell, I had one, the last deal I had, they said no repairs. And then they came back and asked for $5,000 off because they wanted to try to change the loan on me. I'm like, see, now I remember this chick for the rest of my life. I'll always remember her. And I promise you, if she ever comes up again, slide her to the bottom. She'll get down. She'll get shown. But
she'll get presented. But it's not going to be that top priority contract.
She's a liar. This is the deal. This is what we have. This is what we want. This is what we need. Can we work together to make this happen? This is not a, hey, look over here. Let me do something over here. I hate those people. And I will never teach anybody to be like that. I teach my agents to be integrity. Your name, my name is John Brian Clark. Jesus, you know how hard that is? You know how easy it is to get lost on the internet anyway? So I don't need it tarnished to the little bit of name, it's stupid. And if now with the team, that's what you worry about. I've never had anything lower than a 5-star review my entire life, Todd. And that's not to be a brat. I care about people that much, or I won't do the business enough to where we'll cut ties before shit's done and I won't even get a review. But it goes, I only do good business. I will only, because my name means more to me than anything. So now that I have a team, I got to make sure they're doing that, because if you're going to go on to the Dayton home team on Google and put a review, it better be a damn good one. I'm not used to seeing anything lower than 5. I need to make, so I make sure they do the things that they're supposed to do.
5-star as well. So this kind of leads me into my next part of this conversation as we're wrapping up. You're doing the Dayton Homeboys, and I love the logo, love your branding. Why, from an individual agent, did you go into the team side?
Actually, it's the Dayton home team. So
Dayton home team.
That's okay. No, everybody thinks it's still that. So when I left April before last, the Love Ohio Living team, good people with Mike Wall and John Pileski. And we had a great squad there. Just left, been wanting to do my own thing for a minute anyway. Just finally got the balls to do it, to be honest with you. I was also kind of a sales, not official there, but sales manager, hype guy. I was their social media guy. So I loved training and helping all these people. And they kind of, I was mentoring a bunch of them just for, people older than me, younger than me. It's just fun. That's what I like to do is trying to make sales assassins out of people. You know what I mean? And make flip switches for them. So I went off on my own. It was me and my buddy who's been with Keller Williams, for a long, long time. He just wanted to come to EXP. So he knew coming with me with the social following, he was going to work out for both of us. And we blew up. The Dayton Homeboys was perfect because I'm the guy that, usually looks like this. And he's the guy that wears the Peaky Blinders looking hat and shit. So we look like a bunch of, wannabe gangsters or whatever. But at some point, I'm getting people from all over the country that want to ask to be on the team or talk to me about, downline and stuff like that. And it's not just men. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, after men, you gotta be like, Jesus, man, you didn't think about anything, did you, you dumbass? Like, I know women can kick men's ass in sales a lot of times. I've seen some badasses. I'm scared of a lot of women actually that do this job because they're really good at it and way prettier. So I'm sure just cooler to talk to you anyway. Oh shit, what was it? So I changed it to the Dayton home team.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want first of all, I didn't want anybody to think they had to get jumped in to be on my damn team, right? The Dayton homeboys, right?
Right.
Play on words, home boys, right? Because we were flipping and doing short-term rental type stuff and stuff like that. So but when I got down to brass tacks and really thought about long-term, what I wanted for the business had to be the team. And so I've got teammates downtown Dayton. They got like tattoos everywhere. My brother and this girl all tatted up. She got green hair, nuts, dude, pretty girl. She actually makes money playing video games online, like killing little kids on video games online on Fortnite, stuff like that on the side. Seriously, she's nuts, but she also closes deals. She's good girl. So she's got my brother and her, they're tight anyway. They all have this whole motorcycle tattoo group down there because my brother rides and, they have chopped up Harley stuff. And then I got people up on my side of town, a little higher up town, south of town that are look like they're supposed to be in that town. Like they never go down there with those people ever. And
they fit the profile of the client they're working with.
That's exactly right. Like it shouldn't be like that, really, when you think about it from a. But that's how it is. So I like everybody, man. I don't care if you're black, white, green, purple, gay, straight. Like I don't care. None of that stuff matters to me. You want to sell real estate? I want you on my team because I can teach you everything else. I can't teach you desire and work ethic. That's the only thing I can't do. I can motivate your ass, but that only lasts so long. You have to start working. You know, I can teach you how to overcome objections. I can teach you how to, do great comps. I can teach you how to get out there. I can put you out there and make you big kind of quick through my network. If you're on the team, it's just, I can't teach those things, dude. You got to be able to get up and act like this is an actual job, not I'm doing this because my friends and family will buy from me and I get free time. That's bullshit. Sorry. That's horseshit. I've never had free time since I started this damn job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. You say you come in for the free time and tired of working weekends, nights, and all. That's what the business is. And you get the business to a point where you're not doing that anymore because you can learn the structure, but you still got to have that. It's a 24/7, 80-hour job.
Most of your clients are working the 8 to 5.
Yeah.
How the hell do you think you're going to be doing that?
Yep.
You're going to be working the 5 to 9s and
5 to 9 and 9 to 5
Fridays through Sundays. If not, you just need to quit. Like I just talked to somebody the other day that just straight up told me, I just don't want to cold call, man. That's not what I got into this for. I'm like, dude, you need to quit now, bro. Go back to whatever you're doing. Because cold call doesn't need to be just calling random ass people. Like you can be, it can be a text, it can be emails, it can be do this, it can be social media the way I do. You all kinds of ways, but you gotta be making conversations. That's all it is.
Yes.
Every day you gotta try to make a conversation with somebody or pass your card out to every single person you talk to. Start walking the neighborhood. Something. You can't just sit there and hope mom and dad and all their friends call you, because people that worry about that think their friends and family are going to make their business are sadly mistaken. They're the ones that make this whole, most of them go under the first year thing. That's those people. Because think about how many people lie to you on a regular basis. I mean, from my perspective, I'm a pretty open book, and I still don't tell my family and everybody everything I do. There's shit about my family, and they're like, "What the fuck? You do what?" Like, But same with other people. Like, I don't tell them what's happened with me financially before. I'm beautiful now, but I don't tell them that, and I didn't want them to know. And so people do that. That's why they don't use you. That's why they don't use. It's because people want to open the curtain and show you some stuff that maybe will show a little vulnerability or something bad on their side that they think that you may relate with more family or something, even though you may not even be that kind of person. They just they worry about it.
It's more of a privacy thing too, because like if on the lender, the real estate side is one thing on the buyers, because I don't on the real estate side with buyers, I'm just showing houses and I'm writing contracts. That's no big deal. But on the lender side, my sister who's buying a house doesn't want me seeing all of her financials. It's none of my business.
That's it.
So she won't use me as a lender, but she'll go to somebody else. Maybe hopefully I can get the referral to them, but they don't want me to look at all their information. Yet I can probably give them the best guidance because I'm going to have the best interest at hands. but they don't want me to see what's going on with it.
That's
And I'm
exactly
just using that as an example. There's nothing happening there, but it's the same thing. And
that's exactly it.
you know, sometimes family's not the best to work with either.
Yeah.
And you go refer them to somebody else because if there's a bad transaction, guess what? You're going to be talked about every Christmas dinner.
They also expect discounts all the time. And here's the thing. They tell you that they want to support you, your friends and family, right? They want to support you. Like, dude, I want you. But then they want to say, hey, how cheap can you give me this shit? Like, what it almost cost me money to sell your damn house. Like, yeah, it's horrible that people do that in any small business, to any small business person. Hey, man, I noticed you're making badass apparel. Why don't you give it to me at cost? Well, what the hell does that do for me in my business?
All I'm doing is pass through. That doesn't help me, and I'm making $3 a shirt. So
that's not the way to support people, man. So just an FYI to other people. But yeah, man.
Well, as we wrap up, John, so anybody who's looking for pretty much anywhere in Ohio want to make you as a connection, and your primary target is like Dayton, Centerville, and what other areas?
Cincinnati, Dayton, and just Cincinnati, Dayton, you can call it. But quite literally, if you just want Ohio, give me a call and I'll shorten your whole search. Because I swear, if I showed you my phone right now, and I just did that post the other day, I think you may have saw it on Honey Badger Group, where I just did a screenshot, a video screenshot of my phone numbers, and it was strictly all I had pulled up was my EXP agents. I didn't pull up all my agents. I'm just going through EXP, and this is all Ohio. The entire state's covered. I got Florida covered. I got Georgia covered. I've got Texas covered. California now. It's literally getting absurd, but I tag these people on opportunities, and they tag me. And literally, I don't do a lot of business with people locally here. Almost 98% of my business comes from EXP agents all over the country. That's my referrals.
You've been intentional with social media.
It's the only way I want to do it, Todd. I want to continue to give, and just be here to receive if they're trying to throw it this way, man. And if it's not, and like I said, I don't get something out of every time I help people, except like I said, treasures in heaven. I want you just to remember who I am next time for the next time, because one day it might fall in my market, but I don't mind helping you until it does. I'll give you in 2 seconds. I will pull up my phone and send you every bit of their information, and I'll let that person know they're about to have somebody give them a call with some business, and they'll be ecstatic and jump all over it. So,
and I tell you, that definitely goes tenfold, because I've done that with other people. Like, I know you're in Dayton. Who do you know in Columbus? Whatever. And you'll refer me up there. And then all of a sudden now I'm getting, and I love that, because now I've got a connection in Columbus who's referring me down people to Orlando. So I'm
so sorry.
Go ahead. No, sir.
I just got a call before this from my girl Gypsy, who said that exact. So we're honey badgers. They're the wolf pack or something like that, right? And somebody was asking for a referral in Dayton. They said, this guy Todd Roberts said John Clark. A few other people, John Clark, and then 4 or 5 other people started chiming in saying, no, we need to keep it in our downline, blah, 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 that type of jazz. I'm like, hey, I'm not mad. I'm glad my name's coming up in another group. That's pretty cool. And I'm not part of it. But she now is getting love, though, and getting tagged from the people like I hook her up with, like Cody up in, Cody Brown up in Michigan. She's got a relationship with now that she's hitting on all cylinders. My boy David out in Dallas. She's got people all over Ohio now that she's getting referrals back and forth from. And she remembers how it started. The relationship started. It's the best. Loyalty is everything.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I jump in front of a train for that woman. And same with my loan officer. There's people that's the kind of business we're doing. The people I'm working with are the kind of people that I can trust with my wife, with my family. I'm like, with my money, like, that's what I'm building.
Well, and that's the big thing is like, what, how do you be intentional with it? And it's, like that with the referral connections, because now she's got connections because of that initial connection there. And so that's a huge thing for us. Let me just fix this.
Just makes our bond stronger too. I'm not asking her for anything from future connections with that person.
No,
you know what I'm saying? No, but she's the kind of person that doesn't forget where it came from. And that's, I don't need you to keep telling me thank you. I just need you to remember, so then there's no BS later. Like, I will only go to you. I will never send another agent to anybody up that way except her until something changes, and I don't anticipate that ever happening. And same with my boy in Columbus and my dude in Cincinnati and my buddy in Dallas. It's the same thing. I am loyal to a T, man.
Well, and that's goes back to the movie Pay It Forward, and that's what you've done. You paid it forward. Now you're receiving some benefits back in return after the fact.
So, slick, by the way, good reference.
Yeah, but it is though, and it's I mean, because you're paying it forward to people, and you're gonna get your return later, and the return is now like, holy cow, look at you've blown up, you're very successful with this stuff.
It was the least expensive way to get where I wanted to go. It's not the fastest way to get to where you need to go, but it's the right way. It keeps my name intact, and it's now in Dayton. I've been told, and I hope that by a lot of the agents outside of the EXP stuff, that I'm probably one of the most supportive agents in the market. And it's because of what I told you earlier, the pictures. That's not just with my gate. When I see my people, I'm all over. Like I'm nuts with EXP people. But when it's, even if it's Bella Hart, who's beautiful, awesome, great at what she does, has stuff all over. If it's, someone from KW, my boy from KW, man, he's a super cool guy. Like anybody I know and love, it's a quick picture and send out and but it's to show love, man, because I really want to do business. Some of these people, it's like the tag says, when are we going to finally get to the table together? Like we all do a lot of business, but why the hell have we not crossed yet, And so it's fun. It's really cool. And I think it's going to turn out for good business in the future.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Well, John, I appreciate your time being on here today. We've hit that top of the time limit here, but I appreciate you jumping on. Anybody looking for referrals in Ohio, John's your guy. If not, he's got the connection for it. And remember, follow us on all the social channels, podcasts, everywhere you'll find us. And John, thanks again, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Todd. Have a wonderful day, man.